Welcome to this explainer. If you're an IT pro or just a focused learner gearing up for that CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 certification exam, you are in the perfect place today. We're going to be stepping into the shoes of a digital detective to tackle a really crucial part of the exam, Objective 2.4. We'll be looking closely at how to analyze indicators of malicious activity. By the end of our time together, you'll have a rock-solid grasp on how to spot the subtle and, sometimes not so subtle clues that attackers leave behind on a network.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at the roadmap for our investigation. First, we'll open up the Cyber Detective Toolkit. Then, we'll move through decoding account lockouts, spotting concurrent session usage, analyzing blocked content spikes, and the impossible travel scenario. Finally, we'll wrap up with your SY0-701 exam takeaways.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the Cyber Detective Toolkit, Mastering Objective 2.4.
When we look at this source material, it's pretty clear that threats come at us in all sorts of forms. Because of that, threat response requires distinct detection, prevention, and mitigation approaches. Now, for the CompTIA Security Plus exam, it's really not just about memorizing a list of vocab words. It's about learning how to actively hunt for those telltale signs of an attack. We need to be able to look at a scenario, recognize the indicator, and instantly understand exactly what kind of threat we might be dealing with.
Moving on to Section 2, Decoding Account Lockouts, the Battered Door.
Think of an account lockout as a battered door on your network. Someone or something is trying really hard to force their way inside. Technically speaking, this is a system response preventing user access for a specific period or requiring manual administrator intervention due to repeated failed logins. First and foremost, it's a built-in protective mechanism.
Let's move to see how this builds chronologically. First, an anomaly happens, specifically repeated failed login attempts against a single account. Second, the system's security policies kick in, locking the account for a specific period to halt those attempts in their tracks. And third, depending on how strict your security posture actually is, it might require manual administrator intervention to verify the user's identity and get that account unlocked.
But why does this specific mechanism matter to you as an analyst? Well, check out this critical quote from our source material. While it serves as a security measure, account lockout might also indicate a brute force attempt to access an account. That right there is the key takeaway. An account lockout isn't always just a forgetful employee leaving their caps lock on. It can be a massive red flag. By closely monitoring these lockouts and rigorously investigating their causes, you can unveil possible unauthorized access attempts well before the attacker actually gets in.
All right, Section 3, Spotting Concurrent Session Usage, the Cloned Identity.
If lockouts are a battered door, concurrent sessions are kind of like finding a cloned identity wandering your halls. This occurs when the system is detecting multiple simultaneous sessions from a single user account. In plain terms, it means the system is seeing one specific user logged in and active from two or more locations or devices at the exact same time.
And this brilliantly illustrates the choice you have to make as an analyst. When you detect concurrent sessions, you have to figure out what's actually happening. On one hand, it could just be genuine user activity. Maybe someone is logged into their workstation while simultaneously checking stuff on their mobile device. But on the other hand, it could point to a potential security compromise. This often points to unauthorized access by an attacker or users just violating policy through credential sharing. Your analysis here is what separates normal business from a full-blown breach.
Let's jump to Section 4, Analyzing Blocked Content Spikes, Banging on the Shield.
To understand a spike, we first need to understand the baseline. It's actually incredibly normal to see blocked content in your logs. It's really just your network's firewalls and filters doing their job to prevent access to malicious or unauthorized websites, files, or emails. Seeing this simply proves that your defensive shield is working exactly as intended to keep the bad stuff out. Now, what's really interesting about this is that while routine blocking is totally fine, an increased level of blocked content is a major indicator of malicious activity. A sudden spike might signify that your network is facing an active threat, or that your organization suddenly has an increased risk exposure. When you see a spike like this, it necessitates immediate, further investigation to find out who is banging on your shield and exactly why. Next up, Section 5, the impossible travel scenario, the teleporting thief. I want to pause here and ask you a very logical question. Can a user successfully log into a workstation from New York and then log in again from Tokyo within a single hour? The answer is obviously no. Unless someone hid a teleportation machine in the IT closet, The physics of the scenario simply do not work.
This geographic anomaly is exactly what we call impossible travel. It happens when you see login attempts from geographically distant locations in a time frame that makes physical travel physically impossible. That New York to Tokyo jump perfectly highlights this anomaly.
The takeaway here is incredibly straightforward. Since it's highly improbable that a user could travel from New York to Tokyo in 1 hour, this specific login pattern is a strong indication of compromised credentials. It is absolute proof that someone, somewhere else in the world, possesses that user's password and is trying to access your network. It's an immediate, high-priority red flag.
Let's bring it all together in Section 6, SY0-701 Exam Takeaways, your detective cheat sheet.
So the crucial point is that you've got to be able to instantly link these indicators to their potential threats when you sit for the exam. Let's summarize them into a quick mental flashcard. Number 1, account lockouts. Always watch for brute force attempts. Number 2, concurrent sessions. Check for credential sharing or unauthorized access. Number 3, blocked content. Investigate any sudden spikes for active threats. And number 4, impossible travel. Just remember, teleportation isn't real, so this always flags geographically impossible logins.
You now have the toolkit to spot the clues and analyze these indicators of malicious activity. But as we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to guide your future studies. You've spotted the indicator. You've identified the malicious activity, but what is your next mitigation move? Because as a security pro, detecting the threat is only half the battle. Knowing how to stop it, that's the other half. Keep learning, keep analyzing those logs, and good luck with your exam prep.